Most hated opinions. Back with some more of this industry politics. Shit. We got 1090 Jake. I was gonna leave this story alone because I wasn't too sure. Because that's really how this man makes his bread and butter with these snitching stories and these exposing people shits. So I didn't want to just jump out the window with everybody else and say that this man was a rat or he was telling. All right, well, the story goes allegedly, 1090 Jake was told by Boston Richie to go and look into his paperwork because Kodak Black's artist, I forgot his name, exposed Boston Richie for being a rat, for telling. All right. So Boston Richie goes, nigga, I never told, woo, 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 1090 Jake, you can look into my paperwork. Let these people know I never told. So Jake goes, looks into the paperwork. He finds something that he believes is telling. So he lets people know. All right, yeah, Boston Richie told me to look at the paperwork. Paperwork says that he cooperated. He was a witness. He was a witness in a case and yada, yada, yada. So they go back and forth. It's this big back and forth. Interrogation footage gets put out. Statements get put out from Boston Richie's side about the situation. I believe his cousin was killed and the police had him interrogated behind that. Fast forward, you have Boston Richie's brother, who I guess he finds out that 1090 Jake did interview for a news program. And in the interview, he was saying that there's drugs in the prisons, and the drugs that's in the prisons is running rampant in the prisons, and it was in a couple of prisons that he was in. All right. Everybody said that, oh, that's different from what Boston Richie did. Some people were saying that it's the same thing. 1090 Jake did the same thing Boston Richie did. So if Boston Richie's a rat, 1090 Jake's a rat. All right. Fast forward, you had paperwork, alleged paperwork that came out saying that 1090 Jake was a witness to a vandalism, I believe it was. I believe they said BB gun was shot at, a window was shot, uh, something about a window being shot out, two teenagers being described by 1090 Jake in the paperwork. He was supposedly gave a description of two teens, and the person that's alleging to put this paperwork out says that his statement about the description of the two teens led to two teens actually being picked up and arrested for that incident. So people are saying that 1090, well, people were saying that 1090 Jake, well, going into this paperwork, this alleged paperwork, they were saying that if the paperwork is true, that 1090 Jake is in the same boat as Boston Richie. He made a statement and he gave a description. He told the police without a lawyer, and somebody got arrested behind his shit. Which is actually, I guess it would be worse than Boston Richie because nobody got arrested behind Boston Richie shit. If you want to believe that his peoples with the stolen car case weren't arrested behind his statement, even though his statement was that they had knowledge that the car was stolen. He threw them under the bus. But either way, that's neither here nor there. So I guess someone, a YouTuber, he took it upon himself to find out if the paperwork was real about the two individuals that were described being arrested for 1090 Jake's statement. So I guess this is what this is. Guy calls Tampa police, and Tampa Police Department says paperwork of 1090 Jake snitching on two minors does not exist. So hold on, let's just put that in.
But I'm looking for. So I was shown that there was, after this report, that the two individuals that were identified in this report were later.
Is this a report from 2012 for the house, for the shooting of the house?
Yes.
Okay, we have no other report. We've had multi people asking for this report.
Sheesh. So everybody's trying to expose this nigga Jake. She said multiple people has been asking about this very report that he's asking about. So he ain't the first one that tried to check if this shit was real. So that's what like I said, he built his platform on exposing rats. So it seems like that's the way his platform is trying to be canceled, by exposing that he's a rat. It looks like that's the only way that y'all could cancel Jake, by exposing that he's a rat. Like, I guess it's the way you get built is the way you get torn down. So if you built it on exposing rats, only way to legitimately tear you down is to expose that you are a rat. So how can you expose rats when you yourself are a rat? And according to what this lady's saying, multiple people is trying to expose 1090 Jake, either trying to expose him or trying to prove that he's actually telling the truth.
We have no other report.
So there is no follow-up paper that says that they were arrested. Okay. I didn't think so. It looked fake, honestly. But I just wanted to double check for myself before I finish the story on it. And that just verifies it for me. I appreciate it.
No problem.
Thank you. There you have it. It's fake.
There you have it. It's fake. So what does this do now for 1090 Jake's career? It should solidify him, right? Or do people go back to the instance with the news report and say, yo, this doesn't really matter because he still said what he said to the news about the drugs in the jail. And he still gave a statement where he said that you shouldn't give a statement and all you should say is lawyer. To be honest, I think this right here is gonna, this is 1090 Jake right here. What they gonna say next? He answering it. Paperwork hit the internet a few weeks back. A 1090 Jake allegedly snitching about some YouTuber called Tampa Police. Was it Tampa or was it? Yeah, it's Tampa. YouTuber called Tampa Police Department and she says the document does not exist. What do y'all think? Jake says what they gonna say next. So, like I said, to be honest, I feel like this was a reach. And now that they found out that it wasn't true, he got a little leeway before the next reach happens. But if the only way to bring this nigga down is to expose him for being a rat, they gonna keep reaching. They gonna keep reaching. Like once whatever story like you said, this, like the lady said, multiple people asked for this story already. So they're gonna keep reaching and digging to try to break down 1090 Jake's platform. This should hold him down to the next accusation. And to be honest, right now, the only thing that I could see hanging over him is that news report. That news report is the only thing that they could really harp on and keep talking about. And by they, I believe it's the people that support Boston Richie. I don't think none of this comes from nobody outside of Boston Richie's camp. Like all of this is stemming from Boston Richie being exposed by 1090 Jake. So people that fuck with Boston Richie, fans, family, otherwise, etc., they the ones that's looking into 1090 Jake's history and this, that, and the third. I strongly believe that. But it looked like they took a loss. Tampa PD said the shit ain't real. The shit don't exist. So Jake get to keep making these videos, keep getting his bag, and niggas is hating get to keep hating. But we gonna leave that bitch right there. Most hated opinions about this bitch.